We'll move on to our next story. And this one says, Dear sisters, I'm a young lady in my early 20s. I'm married and we're expecting our first child. The issue is my sex life has taken a different turn as I hardly feel for sex. My husband, on the other hand, seems to find me more attractive now and wants to have sex with me every chance that he gets and anytime he sees me naked. I don't want him to touch me at all. I get scared and sometimes I end up crying when he's making love to me. What do I do? Please help me because I'm hurting his feelings. Familiar. All right. Well, who wants to go first? Let me come to you, Tina.
Oh. Just why me? Why me?
Oh, nothing in particular. Just, you know.
So, this thing is very. It's very common that people actually mistaken pregnancy to be the highest point of when you have a lot of sex. A lot of women will say, yeah, that's the time that you get horny the most. That's the time you have a lot of sex, and it's good to have a lot of sex. But you see, it's not every person that actually goes through that. You see, it's not everybody that actually wants the whole sex or enjoys the whole sex or becomes horny. So I don't know. Me, I don't like making other people's stories an example. I like using myself. So because I was recently pregnant. I wasn't in the mood at all. At all. Like I didn't have those moments where you're horny and you're doing. So I actually didn't have sex for the whole 9 months.
Wow.
So a lot of people may not know, but it's a discussion that you have with your husband. And it's a discussion that, and sometimes mine too had like medical reasons attached to it. Okay. So if you are going for the whole antenatal and everything with your husband and the doctor is speaking and he's hearing it too, it also helps. So I think it's a discussion, and since you're pregnant, he will empathize more if you put your case across well. You see, because a lot of people have said that men or husbands cheat. The highest time that a man can cheat in his marriage is when the woman is pregnant, because some of them are afraid, some of them don't want to hurt you, so they go out in search of whatever it is. But if you have someone who understands you and you speak with a person and the person really gets you and empathizes with you, I don't think it would be a problem like that. So I think I'm advising her that she should go and speak with her husband. She should let her husband know how exactly she feels, the pain and everything she goes through. It's not even good, mentally good for her and even the baby, because you don't even know how it will affect, generally affect, her well-being. So, and she can use her doctor as well. She can speak to her doctor and tell her doctor how she actually feels. So on one of their visits together, the doctor can also advise that he stays off for the time that she is whatever. But she should make sure that it's because of the pregnancy she doesn't want to have sex. It's not because the man, she can't stand her husband. That's another case altogether. Because after the pregnancy, they have become active. But I'm saying that you just need to make sure that it's not something about the man that makes you want to stay off. If it's genuinely about the pregnancy and the safeness or the way that you feel, etc., then fine. You have the discussion. But if the man puts you off, that's a separate discussion. Then you have to, work it out some way, somehow.
Alrighty, let me come to you, Rosina. What are your thoughts on this particular one?
Is she pregnant or she's giving birth?
She's pregnant. They're expecting their first child.
Okay. I would say that usually when it comes to pregnancy and hormones, um, people have different reactions towards it. I got extremely horny when I was pregnant. I mean, especially with the firstborn. I mean, my husband wouldn't dare walk around the house butt naked. I mean, I would, we were chasing him all over the place. However, you see, the fact that it's like that for me doesn't mean that it's like that for somebody else. Like Tina has said, we are all very different. However, even if you don't have the feel for it, you may not have the feel for sex itself, but it doesn't mean that you should take out intimacy altogether. Because you see, some men actually get jealous when they realize that the attention they used to enjoy, the care they used to enjoy is now totally being given to a baby. Even though it's not an excuse, but it's also a psychological issue that the men have to deal with. So if before you were inseparable, you were all in each other's space and everything, and all of a sudden, yes, because you are pregnant, yes, he understands the first few months, okay, you need to allow the baby to settle, okay, let me hold off for a while. After 4 or 5 months, and the reason why some men find pregnant women attractive is that, you see, when you are pregnant, your body temperature actually goes higher. So you're actually warmer as a human being when you are pregnant. And some men enjoy the warmth, especially, during the process. Now, some men also get excited when they see that this woman is fruitful, is carrying my child. It gives an extra level of attraction to that woman. And it is only, look, your husband will not fancy your overly big stomach, but when you are pregnant, the bigger the belly, the more they want to show it off. The more they want to show people that, I did that to her. You understand? So it's coming from a place of excitement. They get attracted to you more. They are happy that my wife is very fruitful. Your temperature is so warm. And, there are a lot of dynamics that come into play. So some men actually get attracted to their women when they are pregnant. It's agreed. Especially when the women don't have those other symptoms like the spitting and the vomiting. It makes it easier for men to want to be with them. Meanwhile, you might be battling with other issues. So the key here is to talk about it. Let him know exactly how you feel. However, because he's your husband and you want to keep him focused, you don't want him to get too used to being by himself for so long, you should still condition your mind. Because sometimes some of these things, they are mind games, unless, of course, they are health concerns. If there are no health concerns, it's a mind game. Bring your mind to the fact that, look, he's my husband and he needs a certain level of attention. I may not be able to have sex because it is painful for me at this time. Hormonally, my system just can't, take it. But what happens to cuddling here and there, making out here and there, kissing here and there, touching each other here and there, making sure that at least that level of intimacy is there so that he gets that feel that it's not like you don't want me, but it's because you just can't have me at the moment. It's easier. Then they know that they still have that influence over you. But where you say that, I have medical issues and I just don't feel for it, and you just zone out. Anytime he's coming, then you are throwing his hands away, you are sleeping on the other side, you are just in a hurry to be apart from him in the evening, feigning headache and stomachache and all those things. Then it becomes very difficult. And the thing is that, look, the baby, whether you like it or not, like Tina said, after some time, it will come out. And when it comes out and now your libido starts going up, or you need somebody to just distress you, and he too is saying that he's used to being by himself, then what are you going to say? That's why I keep saying that when it comes to marriage, except it goes against you, medically or something, sometimes you should be able to tune your mind to compromise to a certain level. So it doesn't mean that you should go along and have sex with your husband if it goes against you, especially medically. But don't take intimacy away from him. Very important.
Don't take intimacy away from him, Rosina says. Okay, Olivia, chime in.
Okay, so when it comes to this woman, right, I just want you to know that it's very normal for you to feel the way you're feeling. It's very normal for you to feel unattractive. It's very normal for you to look at yourself in the mirror and go like, Charlie, I wish I was this way, or I wish I was that way. But at the end of the day, marriage marriage is marriage. Your husband desires you. At this point in time, he thinks you're the most beautiful woman in the world. He wants to be with you. I mean, Rosie has said it. Tina has also said it. So I think that what you could do, right, is to, okay, you don't want to have sex. How else can you make sure that your man is satisfied? Have that conversation with him, because it saddens me to know that when you've told us that at some point in time during your intimate moment, I mean, you're literally in tears because you don't wanna be intimate with him. You don't want to have sex with him. I wish you could have that conversation with him. Have a conversation, an open conversation with him. Sit him down and tell him, my dear, I love you to bits, but this is how I'm feeling. It's a possibility that it could be hormonal, because as women as we are, when we get pregnant, our hormones are all over the place. 1 minute we're happy, the next minute we're crying, the next minute we're horny, the next minute we're not. We want to have ice cream at 2 a.m. in the morning. We want to have hot pepper on a hot day in a pool. Some crazy thing like that. We don't even know what's happening with us. So it would stem from a loving perspective. You see, he has to be, if you don't bring his attention to how you're feeling, he can't be empathetic of you. If you just give him what he wants because you feel like, oh, you're his wife, if you don't give it to him, he wouldn't understand you, or he wouldn't see the clear picture. He's probably doing all these things thinking that you're happy, and you're probably faking it. Meanwhile, you're not happy. My dear, you see, as long as you lie on the same bed with this man, okay, and I think he loves you because he's all over you and he wants to be with you. And he's giving you all the attention that you need as well. So have that conversation with him. Sometimes our society makes it, look as though, I mean, women, once we start talking about sex, not going to say, I say this, but no, it is what it is. If you didn't have sex with him, you wouldn't have gotten pregnant in the first place. So he's your husband. What more person to be much more open with than your husband? So sit him down and tell him, my dear, I want to enjoy it when you make love to me. I don't want to feel bad because I don't also want to fake it. I don't also want to create the wrong impression, but this is how I'm feeling. How do you think we can make things better? In other scenarios, again, what is the man also doing besides just, I don't know, humping on you, wanting to have sex 24/7? Is he making the environment conducive enough for you to feel sexy enough? For you to feel, is he romantic enough? Is he the one who is all he's thinking about just about having sex with you, or is he making your whole pregnant experience exciting? You see, a lot of things come into play, especially around this time. So I feel like if you don't have the conversation with him, you can't progress or you can't move on to the next stage. But by all means, after you have that conversation with him, also look at other options in terms of making sure that he's also happy, because it's not just about his happiness, but it's also about your happiness as well. So there are other options besides having sex. Have that conversation and take it from there. But by all means, be happy together and enjoy your pregnancy. And I wish you all the best.
Alrighty, the ladies have spoken. Let me bring in some of our viewers. We've got some comments coming through. Peter says, dear sister, you need to talk to your husband about how you feel. He also needs to understand that you're pregnant, and during pregnancy, a lot of things change. This is the time he needs to be more understanding, caring, and affectionate. This is highly unacceptable of him to want to have sex with you, knowing very well that you are pregnant. I wonder how old your pregnancy is, though. I'm not saying you can't have sex, but not all the time. It's a hormonal thing, and things will get back to normalcy after childbirth. Both of you need to have a serious conversation about the whole issue. Gifty says, you said you're expecting your first baby, right? It's due to the pregnancy, hormonal changes. Learn more about pregnancy and hormonal changes and sit him down and educate him in a sweet and polite way. Marvi says it's absolutely normal to feel the way you do during pregnancy. Just talk it over with him. If he can reduce the number of times, but please don't make him feel like you hate him touching you, else he will flee forever. Ben says this is where social distancing comes in. Distance your nakedness from him just to reduce his chances of having sex with you. But don't starve him of sex as well, because you can't watch him going to get sexual satisfaction elsewhere. And finally, Kwashi says, from your narration, I can see you are worried over the turn of events, but it will be best to talk to your husband about it and let him understand how unhappy you are about how things have changed.